ورزقناهم من الطيبات وفضلناهم على العالمين وآتيناهم بينات من الأمر فما اختلفوا إلا من بعد ما جاءهم العلم بغيا بينهم إن ربك يقضي بينهم يوم القيامة فيما كانوا فيه يختلفون صدق الله العظيم.
Alhamdulillah. In fact, I just heard about the Nasiha just some few minutes ago, but I don't even know what the topic to speak about. But our Muallim, when he recited the Quran, he said, when you do whoever did good deed, he did it for his own sake. And it is only these good deeds, alhamdulillah, that will accompany us to the grave. It is only the good deeds. You marry the wife, you live with her for more than 30 years. The day you pass away, she will never follow you into the grave. It is that good deeds that is remaining. Your wealth will come back. The family you left behind will turn back. Even your friends, your neighbors will turn back. It is now left unto you the ibadat, the good mu'amalat you have done, that is left. And I think that's just the opening, what I want to talk about today. And almost all of us are lacking. Most of the time we had the call to prayers. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instituted prayers on a specified time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Inna salata kanat ala al-mu'minina kitaban mawquta. Allah has established prayers at specified time, and most of the time, with the exceptions of Salatul Subu'i and Jum'ah prayers, which have two adhan, almost the rest of the prayers have only one adhan. In this particular locality we find ourselves, the call to prayers for the Subu'i prayer is normally 4:45, 4:45, or 4:40. The first call is made. And most of the time you discover when the first call is made, people are still sitting down in their, some are even sleeping. When the second prayers is called, people start rushing to the mosque. Sometimes the iqama has commences for the salat. It is then people are rushing. Those who have telephone and what have you will be throwing it on the ground, distracting people's attention. The same applies to Jum'ah. People don't go for Jum'ah until the last hour. For instance, most of the mosques, I perform my Jum'ah in this area, the Yuton mosque. The khutbah normally commences by 12:30. You will not see people, even at that 12:30 when the Imam has commences the khutbah. It is then you will find very few people inside the mosque. You can count the numbers of people inside the masjid. You can count the numbers of people inside the masjid. Until some few minutes to the end of the khutbah, that's when you find the mosque being filled up. The same thing applies to the white mosque. The Jummah prayer, they commences the khutbah around 1:30. At the commencement of the khutbah of Jummah, you find you can count the number of people inside the masjid. Until the imam is about completing the khutbah, then you find people filling up the mosque. In fact, you thought that Jummah will be performed by very few people, because people do not care about the Jummah itself. What people are concerned about is the material things of this art, their businesses, their office obligations. And this is a generality of what we find in almost every masjid today. Nobody cares about salat anymore. And if our salat is not sound, what purified the first generation? The generation of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the generation the Sahabas were together with him. What purified them is their ibadat. Even at the time of Rasulullah departing this world, what he keep on emphasizing is salat. It is that salat that we neglect today. People find excuses to come to the masjid. The Zuhur prayer, when you come, you find very few people. Those at home will pray inside their rooms. When the call is made, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, the mind, the nafs will be telling one, the self will be telling one that the material thing you are seeking for, your office occupation is the greatest, so you abandon salat. When it is said, come for salat, hayya ala salat, it is then that the mind will be telling you, I just have a little time to complete this work. And this is what happened even on Jummah. Even those who have businesses in front of the masjid, they don't enter the mosque until after the prayer. Sometimes they will even be studying. Has the imam passed? Imam be wuce ba. Even the Jummah, that's what we do these days. People are always rushing. What they thought is, because the Jummah is 1 o'clock, if they go by 12:30, they have gone early. Wallah, you have not gone early. You have not gone early. You have gone late. If the Jummah is 1 o'clock and the khutbah is 12 o'clock, those who goes early are those who goes by 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. These are the first batch of people. And these are the first batch that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it will be written for them. They give in sadaka a camel. Those who go on the second batch are those who go 11:30 to 12. For those who perform their Jummah by 1 o'clock. Those who goes in the third batch are those who go between 12 and 12:20. Those who go in the last batch are those who go, at least they have 5 minutes, enough for them to perform the Tayyatul Masjid before the coming of the Imam. And those who go after that period, when the Imam has entered the mosque, the script writers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angels of Allah that he has stationed in the entrance of every masjid, or that particular masjid that they hold their Friday prayers by 1 o'clock, will have folded their scripts. If Allah wants, you are not among those who attend Jummah at that Jummah. The moment the angel fold their scripts, They close their books. They are registered. If Allah decided, you are not among those who attend Jummah. Because at that period, the Imam is inside the masjid. The second call to prayer has been made. And people are now ready to listen to the khutbah. Then you now rush into the mosque. Your name might not be in the register because they have closed it, they have not written it. It is now the decision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to decide whether you have attended that Jummah or you have not attended that Jummah prayer. Yet people will come at that period entering the masjid. Instead of concentrating, performing their tayassul masjid, it is then they are struggling to push people to go to the front row. Already the crime you have committed of coming late is there. You want to add another crime to it. The crime of injuring the Muslims, disturbing the attentions of the Muslim when the khutbah is being carried out. Then when we ask, where is our ibadat? We said we are under trials of Allah. Why won't we be under the trials of Allah? Let's be sincere with ourselves. Why shouldn't we be under the trials of Allah? Even those who go by that the khutbah commences by 1:30 and the Jummah was supposed to commence by 2:30. Their own claim is that if they go by 1:30, they are in the first batch. You are not in the first batch. Those who come in the first batch are those who go by 12 o'clock. Those who go in the second batch are those who go by 12:30. Those who go in the third batch are between 1 to 1:20. Those whom the Imam has commences the khutbah, or he has entered the mosque and seated, and the second prayer is being called. In fact, some people at that second prayer, they are still performing business. To the extent some will claim, "Ai ruwa nake siya, kuma ruwan ma alwala zan yi da shi." Who asked you to buy the water that period? They say no business, you say you are buying water. Who asked you to buy the water? Who asked you to, you thought it's an excuse before Allah? Ai ruwan alwala nake siya. Who asked you to buy the water? They said no business, you said there must be business. And you have to interpret that business. This is what we do. The transporter, it is at the call of the second prayer that he stopped his car. He wants to attend Jummah. The businessman is at the call of the second prayer, he wants to prepare for Jummah. The civil servant, it is at the call of the second prayer, he wants to go to the masjid. The student, it is at the call of the second prayer, they want to attend Jummah. The same things applies to all our daily prayers, daily obligatory prayers. People don't go to the masjid to wait for salat, the salat wait for them. This is our habit these days. People don't go there to wait for salat, the salat is waiting for them. They will call the prayer, they are waiting. They are waiting for people to come. In fact, sometimes the imam is already in the masjid waiting for people to come. Why shouldn't Allah try us? But one good thing is that we see people being buried on a daily basis. We see the way sand is being poured on people's head. And one good thing with Islam is it does not sympathize with a little baby giving birth to and pass away. And they said he's so young, don't pour sand on him, don't shroud him in a white likapani, don't put him inside a graveyard. Islam does not sympathize with him. And every Muslim knows that he passed away because that is the appointed time. It's not because he's too young, neither is it because he fell sick. It is because that is the appointed time. The young, handsome guy who passed away, nobody sympathized with his handsomeness. He is shrouded and sun is poor on him. The same thing applies to people like me, quarter to go. Whoever has attended the age of 50 is already quarter to go. In fact, Islam doesn't even sympathize with your bad deeds. The moment you attain the age of 40, wallahi, you have to be modest in your life. Because your own sin is totally written. Nobody sympathizes with you anymore. You know what is right, you know what is wrong. Then you attain the age of 40, you are still committing atrocities. You attain the age of 40, you still stay at home. They are calling prayer. Wai kana bacci. Za ka yi baccin cikin kabarin ai. Some people have passed away more than 5,000 years ago, and they are still lying inside the grave, and they are not turning their body. The way they put them facing the Qibla, that is how they are. They cannot turn to the other side. For more than 5,000 years ago. Some passed away 1,000 years ago, they are still in the grave. So the period of that barzakh alone is a long period. More than the years most of us will stay on this earth. According to Rasulullah, it's a short period. The average is just 60, 70 years. How many people even attain the age of 60 these days? Those who attend are beyond 60, 70. Maybe if you get to 90, you yourself want to go. Even if people don't start rejecting you. And you know one funny thing with the situation we are today, the children doesn't even sympathize with us. They don't sympathize with us. Kana tsufa na cewa fidda kai a gidan. Yara masu tausayi, those who sympathize, su ne ma suke ɗauke da kai ana ɗan kawo ma ɗan abinci ka ɗan ci loma biyu. Wasu ba su da tausayin. Kai wannan tsohon ya dame mu ya tafi da Allah. Kana kaiwa shekara 80-90 ana son ka tafi ne, an gaji da kai. If you attain the age of 100, dama ka fara kashi a jiki. Sun gaji, dama ba a san a ciyar da kai wa zai wanke kashinka. Who will wash your feces? Nobody is ready to wash anybody's feces. So they want you to die. If you meet the wrong children, they will strangle you to death because they cannot take that responsibility. Why not for us to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at this earliest time? Why not return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Call is made to prayer, people will neglect it. On a daily basis, at least 5 times every day or 6 times every day, the call is made to prayer. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You want to sleep. That's the excuse for Subuhi prayer. Anybody that doesn't perform Subuhi prayer has an excuse. Wallahi bacci da ya rinjaye ni. Baccin ko zai rinjaye ka wataran kana tashi ana saka a kabari. One has to be dedicated. Ana kiran azahar. You said, akwai ɗan sauran lokaci, ai azahar lokacinsa biyu ne. Ka san lokacin biyu ne kuwa. The first period, wallahi, you didn't pray. If you die before the second period, you don't have excuse before Allah. What excuse will you give? Most of our excuse today is not because of our health. Most of our excuse today is because of our we want to gather some little wealth, we want to complete certain obligation given to us, but we don't mind about the obligations of Allah. Abinda Allah ya faranta mana bai dame mu ba. Abinda dan Adam ya faranta mana shi ya dame mu. Domin haka za iya barin sallah dan umurnin wani. Ana kiran sallan kana cewa ya dan dakata tukun. Ai oga cin karasa aikin nan cikin minti 30. Domin haka zan karasa na oga. This is the kind of life we are living. And whoever perform a righteous deed, wallahi yawa kansa. duk wanda ya aikin alheri ya wa kansa, wanda ko ya saba ana nan ana jiran shi a madakata, ana nan ana jira. Duk jimawanka za ka koma, duk hikimanka za ka koma, duk basiranka za ka koma, duk arzikinka za ka koma. A ƙasar nan dai masu arziki sun tafi, an ga mutuwansu. The rich, the leaders have passed away and they are buried in this. We saw it. People are in the seat of government, leading a country. The angel of death passes the gate with all the security and the security gadgets. He went to that man and picked his life, take the soul, and he passed away. And the next thing people are saying, the president has passed away. And people were surprised. We have seen rich men pass away and they have forgotten. It is in this country. A rich man celebrated his 60 days birthday, and the next day he died. Dan Kabo. He celebrated his 60 days, 60 years. The next day in the morning, before morning, he died. And the issue is, ya faɗa Allah me yasa ya je birthday. In sunnah ne ya faɗa wa Allah. He will tell Allah, why are you celebrating the birthday? That's the first question we will answer. For allowing himself to die on the day he celebrated, he will tell Allah. And the same thing, I will tell Allah why I'm committing atrocity on this earth. Wallahi, we should fear Allah. Wallahi, we should fear Allah. What purified the first generation, the first army, is what will purify us. And we have to return to good mu'amalat that the first generation performed. We have to be conscious of our ibadat, and that is the only way out. Our lengthy supplication, when we have problem, will not solve the problem. But our return to the true teachings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what has been legislated by Rasulullah, what Allah has revealed to Rasulullah, and he has put it into practice, and the Sahabas have understood it that way and have practiced it and has saved the first generation. That is the only thing that will save us. Apart from that, wallahi, we will be led to a way that is not straight. For Rasulullah said, the Islam itself, he said, that is the straight way. وَهَذَا صِرَاطُ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. Follow it. Follow it. Don't allow yourself to be deviated. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us. Subhanaka lahumma wa bihamdika wa la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillah. Mun saurara wazi daga bakin ɗaya daga cikin malumanmu wanda suke gabatar mana da wazi wannan anguwa kuma wannan gari na Yanya Gwandara, Malam Alhaji Sirajo. Muna masa addu'a, muna roƙon Allah madaukakin sarki ya saka masa da alkhairi. Kun san shi ya ho kan mambari, to zaka ji kaman ana kusa da kiyama. Saboda haka muna roƙon Allah madaukakin sarki ya saka masa da alkhairi. Kun ga gashi ya karantar da mu wato akan yanda mutane sun doke duniyan nan kamar mutum ba zai bar duniyan ba, har wanda mai ya zumuntu duniya ta shagaltar da kai wajen yin sallah. Kana kallo ana sallah, kana nan kana zanne kana kallon mutane. Wai har musulmi ya samu wato wani hujja wanda ana sallah yana nan yana zanne, ba wai baya da lafiya ba fa, amma ba ga da lafiya ma shi dole sai kai sallan, sai dai idan hankali ya fita a jikinka ne. To yau ku ga yanda mutane suna wasa da sallah. Mutum ya san ana sallah a unguwansu karfe kaza ne, me muku ka shirya alwala kafin lokacin sallan ya zo, to sai ga mutum a haka fa wai dole wai sai an sayar masa ko a raka daya ko a raka biyu. Gashi kuma manzon Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam lallai duk wanda ya samu kabbara da daya ya kai kwana 40 a bayan imam, to ya kubuta daga munafici, sannan kuma wuta ba zai taba shi ba ranar tashin alkiyama. ya zo ga irin wannan garabasa. Mutane nawa ana sallan asubai suna ji ana kiran sallah sai suke fitowa, waɗansu a ɗakin matansu ne suke sallansu. Allah ya kiyaye, wannan ba karamin musifa ba ne. Saboda haka muna roƙon Allah mara sarki ya sa mu yi amfani da wazin malam da ya karanta da mu yanzu. Muna roƙon Allah mara sarki ya saka masa da alkhairi da shi da alarmansa. Ba tare da bata lokaci ba, za mu gaishe malam Habila, shi ma gashi ya shigo yanzu, insha Allah zai hauka wannan mambari, shi ma ya zo ya bamu nashi gudumawa a cikin wannan dare mai albarka. Kafin ya hauka mambarin za mu gaishe malam Muhammad Rabiu, insha Allah tun daga shi ma yana zanne, shi ma ya dan kwana biyu ba mu gan shi ba, amma insha Allah za mu gan shi a yau, ko kuma mun riga mun gan shi ma za mu ji muryansa. Allah mara sarki ya mu jagora.